welcome to the Beauty Dish. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. I am so glad you're here. Today I'll be talking about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that is finding makeup and skincare and products for dry skin. And I've said this before, I have very dry skin. Even in the summer I have to moisturize and use serums and do all that stuff to stay hydrated. And it's hard for me to find foundation and makeup that I can wear all day without turning into the Sahara Desert by 3 o'clock. So I'm going to be talking about my two favorite drugstore foundations that I can wear with my dry skin and feel comfortable and look good. And hopefully, if you haven't tried these, you can give them a shot and maybe they'll work for you too. Alright, I'm not even going to leave you in suspense. I'm just going to tell you what the foundations are. They are both by L'Oreal. The first one is Visible Lift Serum Absolute, and the other is the True Match Lumi. I think these two are really worth comparing, and I think both can work really well for people with dry patches, with redness, with skin that just dries out and is hard to wear makeup with. I also have to say that this video is in no way sponsored. L'Oreal does not send me anything for free. I have nothing whatsoever. These are just the two foundations that I found that work really, really well. So I'm going to start with the True Match Lumi. And I'm going to have to look over here at the computer. This does contain skincare ingredients. It is water-based. It is, they say it's 40% water, which is kind of like, wow, I'm paying for 40% water. But that can be a good thing. It feels light, it's hydrating. They say it has all-day hydration. It has antioxidants, vitamin C and E, and liquid light technology for an instant luminous glow. I would agree with that. You get a glowy, dewy finish. It doesn't look sweaty or wet, but I have dry skin. Now, the thing with this foundation, though, is that all the people who love it, they come in all different skin types. I've seen people with combination or even oily skin say they love this foundation. So it's very versatile. You can probably use it with a primer, set it with a powder, do all these things. You know, you're going to get longer wear regardless. But this foundation, it is comfortable, it is light, it gives you a finish that looks like skin, but with all those imperfections just blurred. I would say it has a blurring effect. The coverage of the True Match Lumi is light. Some people might call it light to medium. I guess it depends on your needs, but it's on the light side, and to build it a lot more than that, I think it would take a lot of work and a lot of product. So you might as well just use a foundation with more coverage if you want more coverage, obviously. Okay, it also has SPF 20 broad spectrum, and right on the front of the bottle, which I think is really interesting, it says octinoxate sunscreen. And the reason for that is because the octinoxate is a chemical sunscreen, and theoretically that won't cause as much potential flashback as a zinc oxide or a titanium dioxide sunscreen. Those are the minerals that can give you that shiny, vampire, or glowy flashback if you take photographs with this makeup. My dry skin, I do easily get 8 hours of wear with it. It never feels like it's melting off. Even with that dewy finish, it manages to set on my face. So I'm going to move on to the Visible Lift. And I'm going to have to point out, though, that I'm a W4 in the True Match Lumi. You probably can't see it on camera, but in the bottle, these foundations do not look identical color-wise. I ended up getting the same shade in the Visible Lift W4 as I have in the True Match Lumi, and it's perfect. So I was thrilled about that. I love it when you know what your color is in a brand and you can just go pick up a different product and you know your color. It's awesome. The Visible Lift has a broad spectrum sunscreen as well. It's SPF 17, but in this case they have titanium dioxide listed as the main sunscreen ingredient. So if you're concerned about flashback, that's something to note. Serum Absolute is the name of this foundation, and that's where all the fancy anti-aging ingredients come in. It says it has pro-retinol A+. I don't know what the A+ means in retinol. Retin-A, you know, is the awesome anti-aging ingredient, and that's the prescription version. Retinol is the over-the-counter version, and this contains probably a very low concentration of retinol. So is that going to make a huge difference in your anti-aging routine? Maybe not, but then again it can't hurt. But of course it also has antioxidant vitamin C, which can lighten dark spots and kill free radicals that cause skin damage. So the serum and the anti-aging ingredients is definitely a good thing. Whereas the finish on the True Match Lumi is dewy, the finish on the Visible Lift I would call natural. So on the foundation spectrum, I think you have dewy, natural, or matte. And this falls into natural, where there's no sheen really to the skin, but it's not powdery either, which is what matte finish would look like. So I think it looks like skin, but it covers flaws really, really beautifully and really naturally. So you don't look like a plastic Barbie, but it really covers nicely. The L'Oreal website says that this has medium coverage. I would agree with that. I think you could make it a little bit fuller if you layered. I'm not one to layer. I like to do one light coat of foundation, but I definitely get medium coverage from the Visible Lift. As far as hydration goes, I think the Visible Lift makes me feel a little more hydrated throughout the day than the Lumi does. And that kind of makes sense with the serum. It's a long-lasting, hydrating ingredient, but at the same time, I don't feel like the foundation melts off my skin. I think it's best to use a light hand with it, and then, you know, if you want to avoid meltdown, but otherwise, it does feel really comfortable. Okay, so now that I've talked about both of these extensively, brace yourselves because I'm going to zoom in and you will see me without all the finished makeup, and I'll put one foundation on this side and one on the other side so you can see them compared. Here we go. I'm going to do the True Match Lumi first, and the bottle says to shake it. And I generally use 1.5 pumps to 2 pumps maybe for my entire face. I will not need that much since I'm just doing half a face, so I tried to just get a little bit out there, but I will dot it on like this. This is so hard to do. And I usually apply this one with my fingers. I've used brushes, I've tried it with brushes, I've tried it with sponges, and those ways are great too, especially with my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. That works really well. But I always just go back to this. It's so light and so easy to blend that using my fingers just makes it really easy to work it into my skin. Now I'm going to take my Visible Lift. Probably need to shake that too. I didn't read the bottle this time. But about the same amount, and I do use about the same amount with either foundation. And I apply it the same way. The Visible Lift is thicker. You'll see it right away. The consistency is a little thicker, but it's by no means heavy. It does not dry quickly. Okay, don't get scared now, but I've zoomed in a lot so you can compare these two foundations side by side. Here is the True Match Lumi, and over here I have the Visible Lift. And I really just see two main differences, and hopefully you can see that too. Now, with the Lumi, the finish is definitely dewy. And I like that look. I think if you're dry, if you have dry patches, a dewy foundation can work really well for you, and the finish is just incredibly natural, yet it does make your skin look a whole lot better than going foundation free. Okay, on the other side, the Visible Lift, there's no dewiness whatsoever. The finish is natural. And the second main difference, of course, is the coverage level. And where I see that is under my eyes and around my nostrils, where I have some redness. I think the Visible Lift does a visibly better job of camouflaging the redness, and I have no concealer on. I just started out with moisturizer on my skin and put the foundation over that. There's nothing else going on here, no primer, nothing. So you do see a difference in the coverage level. If you want a little more coverage, the Visible Lift is the one for you. I'm back with my makeup on again, and I did put on concealer, and I still have the two foundations on either side, but I also put a little concealer right here, and powder, and blush, and bronzer, and highlighter. I didn't mean to do all that, but I kind of just kept adding, and it was fun, and that's that. If there are any other topics to do with caring for dry skin, makeup, skincare for dry skin, leave a comment with your requests. I love to talk about this stuff, believe me, and I will do those, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!